Do you think Sandy Cheeks has cheeks by them squirrel standards? The questions we all need to know. We will find out on this episode of. I don't fucking know. We're not gonna find. Okay, there will be a way though. I guess if you want to like Rule 34 Sandy Cheeks, you could find out if she dummy thick, and you'd have to get like a squirrel to like look at it, and then if the squirrel becomes aroused by having like electrodes attached to a squirrel brain, we would find out. See, we are only, according to this, 30 seconds in, we're talking about electroding squirrels to turn them on using squirrel hentai. Yes. We've truly gone too far already. I'm already high. I've already taken 2 shots. Maybe I guess like 1.5. I don't know, first one was kind of, yeah, I'd say like 1.5 shots is like of Everclear, so it's more like it's just like taking like 4 or 5 shots. I don't know. More of the story is yeehaw spoogoodle, and this is like 2 shots in it, which is probably the equivalent of like yeesh. Honestly, this is probably litty titty. There's just 2 shots in here, and the pretty big size shots, and it's 96% alcohol. So, and most shots are 40%. So basically, it's like 5 or 6 shots. The other one's like 4 or 5. This is like 5 or 6, maybe 7 inside here. But praise be. The moral of the story is I'm a functioning alcoholic. So you can go months without drinking alcohol, and then it's just like I get some, and I decide to get Everclear, and it's just like, yes, I'm a professional. That is not very kumbaya yodel yodel. You don't know what that means because I don't know what that means. But you get the energy, and so do I. Yo, okay. You know what? I'm gonna turn PlayStation off because I was about to watch House, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna not do that for you guys. I love you. Don't actually love any of you, but for the sake of entertainment, yes, we shall watch the YouTube. Wow, this Trump is a green lantern. How many moths do you think would be in his army? You know what? Let's just talk about some ethnics. When it comes to ethics, it's real simple. Suffering, lay big bad. Pleasure, if it exists, good. Bueno. When it comes down to it, though, we ought to prioritize prevention of suffering over production of pleasure. You can see that through demonstrations of psychological, of like, just general population will be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, yeah. And, utilitarian monster examples and stuff. And, yeah, it's just, in general, no one seems to think there's an obligation to produce pleasure, but there does seem to be some sort of visceral thing against pain. I mean, there's also demonstrations that pleasure don't exist, but that's besides the point for the moment. And it's really just that simple, though, when it comes down to it. I mean, like it's just pain, bad, suffering. It's just that simple, though. Just like suffering bad, like real bad, and then like torture. Ooh. No. Basically, you're supposed to prioritize whatever's the most ouchy first, and then go down from there. And once there's no more ouchies remaining, then you can produce pleasure. Unfortunately, there's so many ouchies that we basically have a constant obligation to, bring more pleasure and just be like preventing suffering. And that goes for ourselves too, because obviously, I mean, most pleasures are an illusion and all that stuff. And even if they weren't, they'd be like still apparently way more pain than pleasure. And yeah, it just kind of comes down to promortalism. Yeehaw. That's what you get from me. Yeehaw. You get yeehaw and promortalism. That's my thesis. You get cowboys and promortalism. Beginning of time, there was a cowboy and a promortalist. They fucked and it made the universe. You have to guess which gender was each answer. You're wrong. The cowboy was actually transgender, so it's actually originally a woman that was got the implant. Yes, you didn't see that. Who might be like that? And who did that? Well, it turns out that I'm not. I'm too drunk with the story coherent. Apple. Yo, I was watching like alien lore videos, and that kind of makes me like want to rewatch Prometheus. That also makes me kind of want to buy like all the Alien series, but also because like a couple of them has David in it, and David's like, "Oh my god, he just wants to destroy everything," and I'm like, "Yes, David, Queen slay, literally." But at the same time, David would never be my waifu. He would just kill me and turn me and dissect me. Adorable, yes, but not really my thing. amazing.
I went to college. Give me the secret formula or I'll destroy the Krusty Krab. Ah, you and what army, Bug? What army? What army? Look around you, crabs. You planted grass? Grass? Plankton! Crabs! Plankton! Crabs!
SpongeBob.
F is for fun.
Wow, that almost made me let. No, it didn't. Stu just lighting his diamonds on fire. That's okay. Damn, these people are still chasing after this hoe. Who cares, man? Just blast them already. I say they should just nuke the whole city. What city is it? Maine? We don't need Maine. Wow. This is beautiful. So hard. The fuck? Please, if you see that video, like it for me and comment go hard. In the spirit of ephilism. Hopefully that was a salmon that was caught from the ocean or a stream. You know, not bred in a salmon farm. Though it probably was. Wow, it would definitely be the Wolverine, given Wolverine's like definitely a fucking Arnold. Let's go live. It's a live thing. It's me. Look at it. Wow. I'm taking a swig. What a badass. What a queer. What a badass queer. Literally fucked the trans person yesterday. Ayo. Different trans person than last time. I'm just a hoe, you know. So when it comes down to it, I'm just out here. I mean, honestly, I think trans people are too easy. They're too horny and lonely. Honestly, they just feel rejected by society, so they feel the need to have on some dick to feel wanted. It's too easy. I'm done. I'm done. Fucking trans people. It's too easy. I have a new rule. Only go after those women without dicks, because going for women with dicks too easy. Whoever was just watching just dipped out like goddamn. I mean, you know, when it comes down to it, I mean, Perpetual Pleasurist did say ass be pretty good and better than pussy, but I think he's wrong. You know, when it comes down to it, they're both equally pretty mediocre, but you know, I think pussy better. You know, it's just how it be. It's just how it be. Get educational content here, y'all. I'm still voting the nuke main. What's the worst that could happen? What the fuck is this dude doing? Reading Bible? I don't worry. Vegan. Click. 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 Oh my god. Oh my god. This is vegan gains and that's vegan gains. I didn't know he could be 2 people at once, bro. That's fucking insane. Wow. CRISPR cam. That's kind of interesting. There's just a bunch of chickens taking the L. Look at all these sad boys. I don't know, like, what's the purpose of this? Is this like supposed to be like pro chickens? Am I supposed to be like happy for these birds all lined up next to each other? I really don't know. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Okay. Halloween party mix transfusion. Very cool. I don't know how that came up when. I'm guessing people just fucking throw hashtags all over the place. Get veganism. Let's maybe this will pop up something different. Now it's going for live. Come. Okay. Christ. Ethics. We'll try ethics because I like talking about ethics. But then we'll try philosophy. And then we'll try talk show. God. I'm surprised I can still type right now. Cool that though. That's dope. I'm becoming more of a functional alcoholic because the day goes goodbye. I'm like, okay. All this is bullshit. Talk show. We have the power of, I don't know, Allah. We need to like try it again. Talk. Q and I mean I do Q and A. Maybe other people do Q and A. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? God damn, it's the only thing. God damn, it's the fucking Asian lolly. Camilla. Theological questions and answers. Oh my lord.
Based on a number of texts that are poorly interpreted, in my opinion, and most notably Romans
Live?
chapter 2 and verse 13,
There's no way these
where
people are
some
going
have
like
taught
this. This is
that
just
we
like
have a justification now, that we are justified now, but that we have to, in one sense, sort of prove, demonstrate.
no, religious people don't have actual like stuff going on. They're lazy. I don't speak Spanish, so I can't even join that if I want to. It's probably like something that's completely different than Spanish, and I just seem like completely ignorant. Live Q&A on TikTok? Wow. Wow, truly beautiful. Okay. I need to think of something that would create like that'd be like worth watching, you know, like or trying to convince someone. By the power invested in me, in myself, I shall go to. I have the idea, but I'm forgetting the name. Maybe I need to take another swig. By the power invested in me. Woo. Noodles. I'll think of one of them. There's two of things that are like this that I'm thinking of, but one. Oh, wait, is that what that's called? Huh. Hmm. Hmm. What the fuck is this? I figured it out, I think. Well, not the one that was actually trying to originally go for. The recess of my mind figured it out. Testing 1, 2. Yeah, I'm just making sure this is working. We're probably gonna see some absolute unholy shit. So if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Whoever's watching this, be wary if you're under the age of 18. Get the fuck out if you're talking about some serious ethics. And we're on Omegle, so there's like a lot of random hoes on this fucking site. You a hoe? If you are, get the fuck out. Male 25. I don't care. We're talking about ethics. Get the fuck out. You interested in hello, moral philosopher. Do you want to talk about your life and how you're actually a horrible person? No? Okay. Male, that's pretty cool, bro. Well, listen. Okay. Hello. I don't give a shit about your Instagram. Ho. No. Praise be. Anyways, as I was saying, ethics, philosophy, blah blah blah. There's things that are right and wrong in the world, and I believe it breaks down everything into empirical experience. Pain is bad, pleasure, if it exists, is good. But the thing is, I don't think pleasure really exists as a positive. It's more or less pleasure when you experience like things that feel good. It's really just taking care of a need. A negative sensation, you're driving it closer to a neutral. You're taking care of a need. So it comes down to life has no positive aspects. We're constantly just fighting to get closer to a neutral, and basically we're all better off dead. So please don't have children. Spread the message. Life is hell. The Christians are just trying to trick you guys into thinking there's something after this. No, we just go into a cycle over and over of hell, and it only ends. And what happens is guaranteed to repeat. So the only way to prevent the infinite repetition of this hell from going on for like another billion years so the sun expands is to voluntarily destroy this bitch as right now or as fast as possible. Praise be. Have a good day. Wow, what a do you stand with the Chinese people? There's like something saying, hey, that's not cool. Get out of here, whore. Do you want to talk about ethics? God damn it. Hello, do you want to talk about ethics? God damn it. No. Hey, do you want to talk about ethics? I mean, I know you're looking at me like this dude. I'm gonna try to convince him to pay money for something. But right now, you're not leaving, which is unlike everybody else. Plus, that means my viewers gonna look at this like cheap fucking shitty. Oh, there's tits. I can't have to change. Okay. When it comes down, God damn it, I hate being alive. Yo, maybe I should like make like a chatterbait, and I should just like start like jerking off the for people, but at the same time I should talk about ethics. Like, what do you all think? That might actually be worthwhile. The whole time I'm just like edging myself. I'm just talking about the edge of the world, like the end of the world. You have no clue what if I'm doing that right now. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not. But I could be, and if I was, then people would pay money for that. I'm sure. Marco, I'm having business ideas. Don't interrupt me if you're meowing. Well, I'm done with that. Spicy.
That in a 2008 interview, also with The Guardian, with Rosanna Greenstreet. And this was a lifestyle Q&A. And she asked Slavoj, if you could edit your past, what would you change? And Slavoj answers, my birth. I agree with Sophocles. The greatest luck is not to have been born. But as the joke goes on, very few people succeed in it. So this to me seems pretty anti-natalist. And we could just stop there, but there are some more comments that he's made which seem to also have anti-natalist leanings. So in that same 2008 interview with The Guardian, he also asks this: what is the most important lesson life has taught you? And then he says that life is a stupid, meaningless thing that has nothing to teach you. And this to me, whilst not explicitly anti-natalist, does convey an understanding that he has that life is not this amazing thing that we should actively be bringing into existence. It suggests a skepticism towards that view.
The fact that it's not just nothing, things are out there. It means something went terribly wrong. That what we call creation is a kind of a cosmic imbalance, cosmic catastrophe, that things exist by mistake. I was always disgusted with this notion of I love the world, universal love. I don't like the world. I don't know how I'm somewhere in between. I hate the world or I'm indifferent towards it. But the whole of reality, it's just it. It's stupid. It is out there. I don't care about it.
There's also a web chat interview he did with The Guardian, which I believe is where he answers questions live that readers of The Guardian can send in via a web chat on their website. And he's asked this: Dear Slavoj, how is your recapitulation of Lacan's point that desire's principal aim is to reproduce itself different from Schopenhauer's will, a philosopher largely absent from your oeuvre? And given this formulation, how can we not agree with Adorno that there is no room on earth for all our desires, that we seem to be tragically programmed to exhaust the natural world and witness the terrifying clash of the infinite restlessness of self-conscious beings with the finite resources available to us? And then he says, I don't see any continuity between Schopenhauer and Lacan. I think Schopenhauer is at the origins of the rationalist philosophy of life, which has nothing to do with the Freudian unconscious. The Freudian unconscious is rational, articulated, structured like language. Schopenhauerian drive is life drive, while the Freudian drive is death drive. And in the opposition between life and death, I'm for death. That's why I love von Trier's Melancholia. All life on earth disappears, so I think it's a film with a happy ending. And again here, this seems to have very anti-natalist leanings. Now, whilst Melancholia, all life on earth
Von Trier's Melancholia. Amazon.com. Okay, what's this called? Von Trier's Melancholia. Spanish edition. What the fuck? Oh, Melancholia! I already own Melancholia. Oh, I own that movie. That's a great film. It's a fucking great film. It's about like the planets, but it's like a wedding going on, and it kind of gets like halted as like the wife has like soon to be wife, fiance has like an existential crisis because there's the news going on that like the planet called Melancholia is about to potentially crash into Earth, but at the same time it's been like all the governments are saying it's not real, but scientists are being like, yeah, it's kind of real, bro. And then it's like this whole play out of like how like the one sister loves life and like the bride is like what's in the best day of her life supposedly is having this like seeming like existential crisis until she finds out the world is actually truly dying. Spoiler alert. And yeah, she's at peace of herself. And I mean, it's not really much a spoiler because it says all life on Earth disappears. So I mean, it's kind of, if you're actually reading what he's saying right here, it's kind of already spoiled. But more of the story is when it comes down to it, yeah, it's a great fucking film about like the nature of humanity and how people react to crises, like depending on like how much they value their own life and existence and stuff like that. It's truly a really beautiful film in a way, and it has a happy ending.
Disappears. So I think it's a film with a happy ending. And again here, this seems to have very anti-natalist leanings. Now, whilst anti-natalism isn't about coming out of existence, but it's about coming into existence, what Slavoj says here does show a deep sympathy or preference for an Earth without any life on it.
I feel a kind of spontaneous affinity with quantum physics.
And by extension, I would assume he would endorse a universe without any life in it, which is very much part of an antinatalist outlook. Now, all in all, I don't think we have enough evidence to be able to concretely say that Slavoj is an antinatalist, but he definitely has strong antinatalist leanings. He does a lot of
I need to sneeze for a second, but then I stopped needing to sneeze. Now I'm like, goddamn nose, why did you blue ball me? Ooh, woo. I like to sneeze. Feels like I'm conjuring the wind. Yeah. What the fuck? I'm retarded. Yo, me too, bro. Could have just put it up its fucking misery. But, you know, how a sweet story. Ha ha ha, hoo hoo hoo. Is Loom. Look at this chonky cat. What do y'all think about chonky cats? Do you think chonky cats? Because goddamn, I like myself some chonky cats. No, we gotta keep them outside though. We gotta get them a little bit more lean, you know. Make sure they earn their keep. They gotta be little effortless, taking out life. When it comes down to it, cats extinct a lot of species. You know, it's just how it be. Like 100-something species go extinct every day, and birds are part of the reason. I mean, not birds, cats are part of the reason, and often it's like bird species and all little critters. You know, there's munching on them because they're good boys, aren't you, Marco? Petting my cat. You can't tell because he's sitting against the back of my computer. I fit X a lot to my prairie dog. Well, that's just mean, but I guess it's better than letting it live. Well, what if I type in nature? Then I go into the live section. Yup, that's exactly how nature spelled. Then I go. Wow. Nope. What about trail cam? There's some fucking creepy ass shit in my. Yeah, okay. Let's see if I can get some SAP shit caught on camera. I wonder if this is actually just the wild, like, this is like an actual. You just subscribe and able to comment. I can't call these birds stupid. God damn it. Okay. That lame ass fucking bird. Okay. We're gonna. There's nothing of interest, honestly. We're just gonna. But no, really. Why have we not like wiped out all of life on Earth yet, y'all? Like, surely some world leaders realized around here was pussies and just been like, they won't fire the fucking nukes. Let's just do this shit, you know? Like, what's with that? Like, why aren't we just like going full throttle? Let's just go full throttle and just risk it all for the biscuits so we can get in funds of war. With the woo. Howdy, welcome. We be in the Boogaloo Hour, and look at that. Yeah, honestly, Boogaloo used to be a fun word until I found out racists use it. Honestly, yeah, it's not Boogaloo Hour anymore. It was Boogaloo Hour until I remembered it was used by racists, and you might be a racist, so fuck you. Not you, person watching. I love you. You're probably not a racist, but you might be. You might be. But if you are, welcome to the channel. Please don't reproduce. All maybe by you not reproducing, you will encourage people to also not reproduce. And given you might not be Chinese, you're probably not the majority of the planet, and therefore you'll convince the other people on the planet to not reproduce potentially by your own actions, and therefore help your own race. Yes, just don't have kids. You don't need to try to figure it out. You just don't have kids. Don't try to think too hard. Yep, I'm trying to. If you're racist, you're stupid anyway, so you probably won't be able to figure out what I just said. Ha! Fuck you. Ooh. That's great. Yum. Tastes like poison in my kidneys. Let's go play more Fortnite. So when it comes down to it, yeah, basically the moral of the story is, I may as well put the banner. I've been streaming for 44 minutes. I don't have my banner up. Yo, I'm gonna, you know what? And I'll put the link. I'll put the link, y'all. So if anybody wants to chit chat, with me about ethics or just about your life, I can give you good advice. I'm practically a psychopath. Maybe not quite, but I'm pretty damn close. So when it comes down to it, I give pretty grand advice. It's like mint shit when it comes down to it. Pretty neutral. Definitely will be the best advice you can get, unless it's like something like complex or like related to like your like something that takes like a degree to know. Because if it takes a degree to know, yeesh. The only shit I know is like philosophy, my G dizzle, like philosophy and a little bit of psychology. But and sociology, a little bit of sociology too. I basically know like how the human mind works and like how ethics work. Basically what we ought to do. But burp, that was the alcohol. Praise the Lord. Gosh, if I was raised, Christians are allowed to have alcohol. I was raised Christian, Lutheran. I would be more funny if I was raised like Islamic. Then I'd be like really going against like God by taking a swig there. It'd be hilarious. It'd be like, ha ha ha, what an ironic sentence. Praise the Lord, take a swig. No, that's why I'm like against Islam. Maybe Judaism is against drinking like alcohol. Is it against drinking alcohol? Don't know, don't care. I mean, when it comes down to it, like probably the second, maybe first most racist of all religions was inherently Judaism because they're kind of just like God chose us, fuck everybody else, lol. But then again, they're not really violent against everybody else. They kind of command to be violent against everybody else, but they're kind of a bunch of pussies. They don't really do it. But Islam's just like lol, everybody's infidels. It's just like start hacking their heads off, and they move like Allah. So honestly, Islam's kind of shittier, but I'm a pro moralist, so it's kind of like, you do be, I guess, you know. I don't like you all, but at least you're like, as long as you don't hack my head off, you know. I'm just kidding. Maybe that's a hypocritical of me. Yeah, it's a little hypocritical because what if they start hacking head ups? I mean, we're a minority though, and there's not many people who is like. But then again, if a Blaze was in a country like that, yeah, let's just say fuck Islam, 100%. Yeah, fuck Islam. Islam sucks. But when it comes down, this is my brain, just like when I'm drunk, bro. When it comes down to always fuck Islam, always fuck any religion, I'm a misotheist down to the core. But when it comes down to it, occasionally it's consequentially all right. Like imagine like if there's like some like religious anyways, as I was saying, whenever there's like a religious person, they're just a real asshole, like a real cunt, you know, they're just like beating their wives and shit. But when it comes down to it, they also rape someone, and then the Islam law is like, fuck you, I am Islam, so we're just gonna hack your head off and chuck you over a roof, you know, or something, you know, make a real sentence, you know. When it comes down to it, that's perks of that, because, you know, it just creates a real grand message, and the guy just takes the L, flicked out of existence. So when it comes down to it, theocrats, yeah, you know, they're the one purpose. You know, the one good thing about theocracies is that they just don't mess around when it comes to punishment. They just kind of like are like, get the fuck out of here. You know, God will judge your soul. You can get off this mortal plane. Boop. You know, and I respect that. I respect that. I'm pro death penalty. But when it comes down to it, theocracies are all kind of shitty as fuck, and fuck all people who respect religion. Anybody that believes there's like a hell and that we can all suffer for all eternity for just not believing and worshiping some power of being, well, I want to spit in your face and piss down your throat. So if you're religious and listening to this, and you have like piss fetish, hit me up. You know, just kidding. That was not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is you suck balls. Yeah, you didn't expect. But if you're not religious and you're watching this, praise be, welcome to the club. If you think life is perpetuating, what the fuck's wrong with you? You don't even believe in a god. You just think we're just a bunch of fucking monkeys tearing each other apart and be like, you know, in group, out group, you know, exploit, you know, and you somehow think this is worth it because you get an orgasm like a couple. I don't know what's wrong with you. Honestly, you're worse than the religious kooks. Religious kooks at least think there's like some eternal bliss place after. Like, you know, the atheists, you somehow think life's worth living, even though we have full knowledge that whatever takes place will happen again, because whatever happens has a probability, a chance of occurring again. And so, therefore, it'll either is a one and done time or it happens infinitely over and over and over and over and over and over, which basically means we're in a cycle of hell where any amount of pain you ever occurs becomes an infinitesimal amount of pain because it repeats forever. So even the smallest pinprick becomes an infinite amount of pain. But we all know it's quite literally a whole world where people suffer and dying, and 1 in 5 people die from cancer, 1 in 100 get splattered in a highway, 1 in 6 women get raped in their whole entire life is a PTSD cycle. And it doesn't end there. If generic subjective continuity is true, no matter how long it goes on, it will always repeat. As long as there's a chance, a probability that it'll happen once, that probability will occur again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And so every moment we allow time to continue on, but extincting all life, is a guarantee of infinite degrees of suffering, repeating on infinite levels for all time and all planes. That's truly beautiful. Watch my video one time plus, you will not believe. Oh wow, I totally don't believe it, which is why I'm not gonna watch it. I don't believe I'll care. But if you can explain why I would care, maybe I will watch it. But you're not convincing me with that. You know, kind of want to make popcorn, yo, and then just put some of that like caramel apple seasoning on, and be like, wow, it tastes good, and be like, yeah, sweet, crunchy, yeah, yeah, yeah. At the same time, who knows? What if I just want to like not do that and just like sit here and praise the Lord? What if I just want to praise the Lord? This dude's talking about catnip. What? What the fuck? My brother in Christ, I'm not gonna watch your weird catnip video. Marco is over here. I'm not a cat. This guy's a cat. He would be interesting to watch your video, but he's asleep. He's resting right now. And I'm not a cat, so when it comes down to it, as much as I'm interested in watching catnip, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Even the cannabis, bro. Yeah, man, I feel ya. Marco feels ya. Don't you, Marco? He's like, oh, don't tap my ass, homie. That's gay. I'm like, you right. But you have a tail that's like also gay, man. Like, only furries have tails, and all furries. He's like, yo, bro, I'm just a cat. Leave me the fuck alone. Gosh, imagine if I was born. I love Asian food, but I'm born in America, y'all. But if I was born in Asia, there's like a very nice chance I'd be like impoverished and just like born into like sex slavery or slavery of some kind, or just like be some fucker on the road that like dies of like, you know, like starvation or some shit. So when it comes down to it, you know, Asian food, starvation. Asian food starve. It's the two contrasts. Either I get food and it's delicious, or I just fucking die, or I whore myself out. If I'm a woman in Asia, though, what if I'm pretty attractive. If I was a woman, if I could bend myself and be born in Asia, I could be like a real sexy thought, and I could like whore myself out for some orange chicken. Honestly, y'all, I think if I could gender bend myself and be born in like any Asian country, I'll be a real sexy whore, and I could get myself some mean chicken. I mean, I'm vegan, so maybe I'm vegan, so but if I'm a whore, I probably wouldn't be exposed to ethics. So I'm assuming I'm born a woman and I'm in Asia, I'm on the streets, I'm gonna resort to whoring myself out because I'm a psychopath, and I'm assuming my psychopathy will be translated over, and therefore I'll be whoring out myself before I get exposed to philosophy. So in this hypothetical Asian reality where I'm a female whore, I will never be exposed to philosophy, and therefore never care about trying to improve my life, and therefore I will actually just be a whore for orange chicken. This is all coming to fruition, y'all. In another universe, I am a whore for orange chicken. I don't even like orange chicken, but if I was Asian, I'm sure I would. I'm sure I'd be used to it. I used to like orange chicken, but then school just had like a nasty fucking day of orange chicken. I was like, bruh, this shit's nasty. Now I don't like orange chicken anymore, but I like every other type of Asian food, man. Every other type of Asian food is great. It's spicy a lot of times. Well, if it's not, it has this tangy taste. I'm like, Asian food's great. Except for seafood, like sushi, nasty. I don't know the fuck's up with sushi. Whoever like first was just like, oh, look at that. Like, we'll just eat it raw, you know? It's, like, clearly that won't kill us, despite the fact everything on land, if you eat it raw, just fucking murks you. You know, like, this is a great idea, you know? And then somehow it worked out for them, and good for them, I guess. But you know, frankly, my taste buds don't think so. My taste buds think, why is this so expensive? What type of crime against the middle class is this? They don't even fucking cook it for you. They just pull the ocean, slap it on a plate, and like eat this shit and call it more money than fucking some cooked shit. How you explain Parrot Inspector if Parrot hit an object callable what? Excuse me, the fuck? I'm playing ranked right now. How do you explain Parrot Inspector? Oh, this dude talking about the parrot that sniffs shit. The sniffy boy parrot. Well, I think personally the parrots like are enhanced and given enhanced sniffing abilities, and so they don't want you to know that they're actually snorting meth to smell the cocaine. But when it comes down to it, it's the truth, brother. They just want you to think these birds are detecting fragrances. No, it's the truth, man. I just fell off a cliff and died. I think my rank just went a little down from that. Yeah, just a wee bit. Who cares? The one that went down like 7%. Whatever. But no, I don't know. You need to send me that link about the fucking parrot that sniffs shit or whatever, and I don't fucking know. Maybe I'll click it and truly discover the reason this parrot sniffs things. It's not for detecting drugs. I guess dogs have better noses than parrots, so they already have dogs. But you'd think that they would like have like a bird like a breed that has like a really good nose, and because like birds can talk, they'd be like cocaine, or some shit like that, and that'd be like very useful. Imagine like instead of just like sitting down on the ground, like what if it's just tired? The dog just sits by your fucking can, like oh my god, here's coke or some shit. He's got drugs, we're gonna search you. Just like a dog's just tired or some shit, six next to you. But like the bird literally just goes up and he goes, cocaine. It's just like, god damn, that man has cocaine or something. Meth. Moral of the story is like we should get police parrots that just fly around airports and sniff out people that do coke and meth and are trying to cross the border of it. Oh well, if you're sending the link like 1,000 times, none of the links are showing up for me, so I'm guessing the links just don't go through in the live stream. At least not through StreamYard, which is where I'm watching the live stream. So you may be better off telling me the title of the video. But I will look up Sniffy Parrot and see what happens. Parrot nose. Truly, this is going to be beautiful search result. The name of the video is called Bird is a Genius. Okay. I do like myself some birds being bird-like. Gonna copy and paste the link again just to see if
Touch Ophelia? Touch Ophelia. Yes, good boy. What's this made of?
glass.
What's this called?
Glass.
What's this called? What's this called? What? What's this called? It's made of glass. What's it called? What's this called?
This is a boat.
Yes, it's a bowl. Good boy. He can't resist banging on the bowl. What's this book made of? Paper. What's this made of? What's it made of? What's this called? It's just a bowl. What's it made of? Glass. No. What's the bowl made of? Metal. That's right. Good job. There's your pistache. Touch Ophelia. Touch Ophelia. Yes, good boy. What's this made of?
It's adorable when he says touch Ophelia, and then it makes a little trippy noise and touches her, like, hello, friend. Like that's Ophelia. A little exclamation, a bird noise. Very adorable. You can't tell that I think it's adorable, but I think it's adorable, which also makes me want to kill it. But also, it's adorable.
What's this made of? No. What's this made of? Metal. Yes, that's right. Good boy. Right, 3 more. You can have a pistachio. What's this made of? Paper. Yes, good boy. 2 more. Right, what's this made of? Glass. Yes, good job. Right, 1 more and you get the pistachio. What's this made of? Rock. Yes, good job, Apollo. There's your pistachio. Good boy. What's this made of?
Rock. More of the stories I watched your. What about objects? I don't know, bro. I mean, birds are pretty smart, though. When it comes down to it, parrots are pretty smart, but corvids are supposedly even smarter, I guess. So it'd be interesting to see how smart a fucking corvid would be. Like, I mean, we could teach that little fucker like a raven or some shit. I'm sure they probably know a lot of weird ass shit. No, they know how to like slide on things, and they can like they've taught wolves to fetch. The reason wolves can fetch in the wild is because corvids have taught them how to do it because they find it fun. So yes, people would tell you it's because God or some shit. No, it's just because the fucking ravens are just fucking wild and birds be too smart. Birds be too smart, bro. The birds work for the bourgeoisie. Maybe the birds do work for the bourgeoisie. What if God's real and God actually made wolves know how to fetch and birds were all government drones? You really never know. Anyways, back to Fortnite. Yo, parrots are real smart. If you want, you can also watch videos of like Billy the cat asking for shit. There's a cat that literally has a bunch of buttons, and the owner just taught the cat how to press buttons to like arrange different sentences and stuff. And yeah, the cat will literally like ask for things at some point, and then like be like, you know what? Now that I have the thing, I don't actually want it right now. And be like, Billy later and shit like that. You know, like the cat's literally like smart as like a small child and like understands like how to communicate like for what it wants and like express its like emotions in like a complex way. Moral story is all animals, the mammal and bird groups are sentient, including reptiles. They have nervous systems as well. And the other lower life forms like ants and stuff are probably just a lesser version of sentience. Probably not like complex like mammals and other animals, but insects to some degree have complexity. Enough to feel. Ouch. That made me take lay damage. Ouch, I took morally damage. I could really use some health. Wow, they're still not vegan. I mean, there's one thing more ethical than being vegan, which is being scrapitarian, which is my term for saying vegan plus hunting and fishing, because I believe hunting and fishing is actually ethical and something we ought to do. So I think being full vegan, which is just like not hunting and fishing but eating plant based, is kind of fine, but doesn't really solve the or contribute to solving the whole wild animal problem. And given primordialism and all that jazz, I think it is good to hunt things out of existence, try to extinct the wild creatures who are very much. Wow. Let Marco click at him videos. He will not believe. Marco, I don't think has the ability to click the catnip videos, but even if he did, he's actually a meth head. He tried catnip, but he thought it was too weak. Marco ain't no pussy. Maybe a camp, but he ain't no. No cap, yeah, yeah. Gang, gang. You will watch it later. It's crazy. I'm not sure I will. But if I do, I'll be like, dang, got me. I did watch it later. And that'd be pretty meta, because you'd have, like, predicted the future, bro. Like some freaky wizard. Whoa. No, I guess I should go down there and buy that thing. Texting one lettre. Ah, le oui oui. Click feeding duck. Oui oui. Whew. Praise Allah and his son and daughter. I just Absolutely destroyed that guy. Popped him twice in the head. So you playing Fortnite? That's what I'm saying. BTW downs. Rock 60. Interesting. Wait, what? Interesting. Okay. Reload the missile launcher. I'm gonna take the med mist. Let's go find that dude. Someone's shooting at me. They missed. Oh, now they're not missing. Now they're dead. They thought they'd win. This isn't even the dude that I thought. Okay, I have a contract for some dude, and I've killed 2 dudes before I've even killed the dude. Dude, they also have a sense of humor. I don't have a sense of humor. It's impossible, man. A sense of humor would require me to actually think life is worth living and enjoying. I have like this broken sense of humor where I find like funniness in like people suffering. That's about it. No, let's go over here. I think there's someone over this way. Spaghetti spagoodle. I lost my noodle. Not you, the birds actually have a sense of humor, it turns out. Yes. I mean, I'm not surprised birds have a sense of humor. I just don't know we're still talking here. Ah, nice. I mean, octopuses have like the intelligence of like a 3-year-old or some shit, and they like slap the shit out of like things for the fun of it. So I wouldn't be surprised that like parrots have the intelligence of like a 6 to like 9-year-old. Just sort of like, lol, let's just laugh at things for haha. Well, you should get yourself. I'm just kidding. I don't have a gun, so I'm not gonna tell you to get a gun if I don't have a gun. But you know, when it comes down to it, arming yourself is never a bad idea. You never know. You know. You know. No, you don't know, which is why I'm saying you never know. You know. I mean, I have some empathy. I can still kill things. I don't care. I mean, if it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to do, regardless of one's desires. Yeah, I mean, that thing takes like 10 years to reload. Well, emotions in group, out group. It's evolutionarily based. It's pathetic, in my opinion. I don't care about emotions because all they do is mislead you. I mean, obviously, everything breaks down to some level of emotion. Like, I mean, emotion has a value in the fact that it's like primarily there's pain or pleasure or whatever. But that's all I care about. I don't care about the feeling itself or the whatever, you know. That doesn't have any value. The reason I have a feeling doesn't have any value because all that is based off in-group, out-group nonsense and bullshit. Empathy that is driven off of biological sensations of wanting to live long and reproduce. It has nothing to do with actually what is valuable, which is ending and preventing suffering. So, though I have empathy, I mainly have cognitive empathy, and I operate solely off of the cognitive empathy, basically. I don't waste my time with effective empathy. It's biased and not useful in decision making. I'm not saying you're to blame, but you can change, or you can try to change. Sitting idle and saying I'm a product of my circumstances doesn't really allow much, does it now? Sure, whatever you happen to be is a product of what your parents that created you. But being in that and being like, I don't have to try to be better, it's just silly and barbaric. And basically susceptible to silly feudalism. Because we know through basic psychology and sociology that you can instill patterns of behavior into yourself and all that. So, by working on yourself, you can change over time in terms of habit. Seeking care but not act on it, or act on it without care. And you don't think of words, you don't have an inner monologue? Well, that's unfortunate, my friend. I don't really think that's very useful. How do you make decisions and decide who you should vote for? How do you decide who's right and wrong? Or, how do you decide to do something that, you don't want to do necessarily? Like, how do you change your mind on something, basically, without directly having a negative experience to overwhelm you? Because me, someone, I think in words, so it's basically just like beep, 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 connect dots here, there, makes sense, For you, it's like you're feeling emotions or responding based off emotions. But biology's programmed us to want to, like, reproduce and all that type of shit and, like, have long lives. And yeah, sure, pain sucks and everybody knows that, but, like, how do you eventually decide to, like, change your mind on things? Like, maybe you just heard and it spoke to you because they're playing some sad music or some shit. I don't fucking know. But I'm curious, like, how you logically connect dots and become like an antinatalist, or if you're an ethicist, how did you become an ethicist? What are you to be exactly? Are you an antinatalist or an ethicist? Are you any of those things? Are you a vegan? And if so, why? I can't believe I'm done by the craziness. Well, I don't. You just have opinions for no reason. And if you do, then I don't know why you're wasting your time with this channel. Because I'm a question and answers person. I mean, you can ask questions, but if you don't have reasons for asking your questions, then I don't really know why you'd ask them in the first place. Though, so it's just kind of like, surely you have a reasoning for your belief system and, have a reason for believing what you believe and, an actual belief for a label for your belief, to some extent or another. If you believe it's okay to have kids, or you don't believe it's okay to have kids, and if you believe it's okay to have kids and you have a kid yourself, you're not child-free and you're a natalist. And if you believe it's okay to have kids but you don't have a kid yourself, you're child-free. And if you don't have a kid and don't want to have kids and you're antinatalist, if you don't think people should have kids and don't have kids, you're antinatalist. And if you don't think people have kids and you have a kid, you're still a potentially antinatalist as well. When it comes down to it, and then there's ethicists who just think we should eliminate all life on Earth, And there's like utilitarianism and deontology, and there's like primordialism and blah blah blah, but all that's more advanced, so we don't need to get into that. But the moral story is like, the primary thing is just, are you an antinatalist or a natalist? And I feel like, it's pretty simple. It's kind of just like, do you think it's okay to have kids or not? And then why? Because I assume that's why you're, like, on this channel. I mean, if not, then, like, cool, I guess you stumbled across this channel for some reason. But you're the dude that was been talking about the fucking random ass video for like a week, so I assume you've been around for a bit and you're kind of an antinatalist of some sort. Obama, no, I know neoliberalism, correct you. Okay. I mean, yeah, but how do you tell where the logic's pointing if you're only functioning on emotion? If you don't have like an inner dialogue, like how do you start to? It's just weird to me how like someone could start to like do logical processing, like if they're not like, or how do you connect dots if you're just relying on like pure emotional driven, like do this, do that, because of feelings. I don't know. I guess the feelings are deeply connected to the logic because you have to, because the value is coming from there, but just seems like unless you two really don't really have much value for the pleasure emotion, it's probably like the side illusion of pleasure. Like, just seems like it would be hard to come to that concept. I don't know. Cool for you though. Fair enough. Obama. Still telling like all those people. Understandable. Good for you then. Wish you could find a way to explain to them, because apparently everybody else that's super emotional can't understand logic, and the logic people can't quite understand. There's some level of that the only area of value is directly coming from is the fact that the feelings and emotions, basically, even though just the fact that you have an emotion doesn't mean the reason behind the emotion is valid, but the fact that you're feeling an emotion has value. Positive or negative sensation is valuable, but the reason behind you having the feeling doesn't really matter or make it so it's bad or good for a certain event to occur. Didn't know if that makes sense. I'm drunk. Spaghetti. There's a lot of people over here. I did some dialogue when I was little. I knew some that's why I was been in my mind ever since. Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't really have a depressive, fatalistic mindset really ever. I mean, I just kind of stumbled across it, luckily. I mean, I was more of just like a homicidal guy who just didn't want to have kids because I thought my kids would probably kill me when I sleep, except pass on my genes. So it's more just a selfish reason of not wanting to have kids, like lol. But then I was just kind of like, wait a minute. It do make sense when I stumbled across it. And then the vegan argument, I stumbled across it first. And I was like, it do make sense, though, if, like, there is, like, such thing as wrong or right. These people do make a lot of sense. So, basically just stumbled across arguments, and that made sense. But when you have homicidal ideation, everybody's telling you not to have, let's explore the nature of right and wrong. See why things do be how they do be. Big thing, big thing. That guy almost exploded me. Ah, shit, man. Sorry to hear the big sand hit you at such a young age. Life really do be a bitch, though. But yeah, I felt big, way happy when I was a kid until eventually the huge shit hit me. This is unacceptable. Yeah, man. I mean, for me, most of my life I was kind of like, alright, and then I kind of became like, kind of just discovered like someone that I respected, and they kind of taught me that God's probably bullshit, and I kind of fell into this existential depressive state. And once I went to the existential depressive state, I just got really fucked up mentally. And it didn't help that I was already homicidal ideation, but at least I thought beforehand it was like God guiding me through some purpose of life of challenging me. But then it was just like, no, I'm actually just like a fucking psycho, and then like pure red mode and depressive stuff. And now, like psychedelics and stuff and blah 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 blah. And the reason I think life is unacceptable is basically because that one friend that convinced me there's no God went through like an absolute shit ton of bad things in her life, and she also convinced me God's not real. So basically, I'm just like, damn, everything that happened to you is unacceptable because there's nothing that justifies this, like no grand power, nothing. And even if it was, she kind of convinced me that God's probably an evil prick, and so I'm like, you kind of right. So I'm like, So more of the story is, I mean, yeah, I was convinced. I wasn't really depressive. I was just more convinced through respecting somebody that, you know, there is no God in the world's pain, and that her experience could never be justified. Moral of the story is love sucks. Yeesh, those guys tried. Not hard enough, but they tried. People will be thinking wild, bro. I think the issue is most people don't think. But yeah, people that do think, they be thinking wild, bro. But yeah, some people don't even really have an inner monologue. People back drop below that don't have an inner monologue. They actually wild, bro. Like, literally, like, don't know how people aren't thinking, but people literally be not thinking. It's crazy. If you don't believe me, just look up people like look up lack of inner monologue and watch some videos or look at some research papers. It's fucking disturbing. There's literally like an entire group of people out there, like a good. It's possibly like between 15 and 70% of the population. So a good chance a majority of the population has nothing going on in their mind of value. Scary. Understandable. I don't understand what you're saying. But if I did, I'd be like, understandable. So that's why I said understandable. Is there a velociraptor near me I can tame, or it's just a fucking enemy near me? It's a scary noise. I think I can hire this person. Maybe I can't. Maybe they're already hired. That's glitching. I am. Read it out. I don't know. Can I pretend that? Are these velociraptors? Should I kill this person? Christ, on a bike. Because I've been thinking emotions, yeah. So, like. I don't know, man. I mean, they just are thinking only about themselves. They don't have any level of logic whatsoever. They don't have empathy, I guess. So they're just kind of like, lol, me, and people me care about. Some of them don't even have the me care about. They just have think about me. So, you know, I don't know what to say, bro. Other than that, some people quite literally don't care about anything other than themselves. And some people will logically try to say that they don't care about themselves, which is a lie, because they do. Because they start torturing the motherfucker there and start screaming for mercy. But, you know, when it comes down to it, yeah, some people literally don't care about themselves because that's all they can experience is themselves, unfortunately. They do be. They don't have any level of logic, and their emotions are fucking fried. Some people, just because something's human doesn't mean they have to have empathy. I mean, I don't really have I don't have much effective empathy, and some people just kind of tune out their cognitive empathy. Try to blast away their cognitive empathy for bullshittery. That person is fucking lighting me up, though. Don't know how. I'd be surprised if they're either PC or Amex. They're fucking like a literal dot. Oh my lord! Yeah, this person's hacking. Okay, there's no way they could hit me from that far away. For that little prediction. I mean, just I'm technically not diagnosed with psychopathy, so it's possible I'm on. It's probably likely I am, but I don't know. Some people just don't are raised badly, so they're raised in an environment where they're not shamed, because they're not shamed, they don't really have a primary, like, beginning thought of questioning their thinking at all. They just kind of do shit. They're basically animals. They have no reason to be other than an animal. But yeah, most people don't find someone worthy of respect in their life, so I'm not surprised that many psychopaths don't find nobody like that, so they don't have much reason to try to improve. Hmm. A lot of people are just nihilistic and they don't care. Like, they're just weak. So, I mean, a lot of psychopaths, prey on the weak. So, it's just kind of their nature. They are weak. They prey on the weak. It's just kind of how they be. They don't want to fight against something. They don't want to. They want to blend in. That's how psychopaths are. They are cowardice. They kind of blend into society to do their thing, to have appeal to others. Well, they have no real semblance of self. So when it comes down to it, they're not really going to, even if they experience suffering, they're not going to really want to think too deeply on it or do anything out of the ordinary. It's just kind of how it would be. It's very rare that a psychopath would be like, "Well, let's get too really contemplative on existence," because it's not really gonna benefit themselves too much. So they can feel the suffering, but then try to understand the suffering, understand others' experience in equal value to their own, to actually experience other people, and recognize that. One thing is that psychopaths and sociopaths don't have the greatest recognition experience, like, abilities. Psychopaths do, but sociopaths don't necessarily. So psychopaths can be like, yeah, I see a person suffering, and that's like, shitty. I just don't care. A sociopath, on the other hand, a lot of times they actually do have that ability, but they don't have proper recognition, so they see like the opposite reaction of people. Like, so see someone's like scared of them, they'll think they're being hostile and stuff. So sociopaths are kind of all over the place in terms of like emotional functionality. Like, they just kind of have like complete reverse functionality in terms of emotion. So not all emotions, but in terms of like aggression related emotions and fear related emotions. Anyways, I'm gonna watch House. Ask questions if you want to ask questions, but I'm watching House now. No more circle jerk. I'm too drunk to understand the question, so yeah, I don't understand either. E. Cool.
Good.
Testing 1, 2. Yeah, I'm technically here. I'm just watching House, but what's up, my dude? Look up She by Tyler, the creator. I'm good. I'm Gucci, my dude. I'm gonna keep watching House. If it's not related to ethics, don't care. And if it's from Tyler, the one dude who's like primordialist, I also don't care. I appreciate you saying that I broke it all down, my dude. Yeah, it's really simple when it comes down to it. People just overcomplicate ethics, because it's really depressing. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I mean, you get it. So I mean, we're just big chilling, bro. We're just big chilling. I mean, honestly, if you get it, I mean, I'm kind of here for like also personal questions, I guess. Like, like stuff that can like help you in your personal life to try to reduce suffering. But I'm not gonna like randomly watch YouTube videos because I'd rather watch House. Meaning, I mean, I'll answer like personal questions if you want like advice on life and stuff. Other than that, like, I mean, I don't know. You may as well just watch another channel. I mean, or just keep the tab open so I get view time. Hell, spread the view time, which means I get more views, which means it gets higher in the algorithm and all that fun stuff. Or like make a channel of your own, bro, and like you can like try to like pontificate on the nature of your emotions, like how you got to this point, be like, bruh, and then like try to convince people from like an emotional point of view of like ethylism or something. I don't fucking know, man. And pro-mortalism. I don't know, man. When it comes down to it, I basically could care less about the Israel Palestinian conflict. I mean, used to kind of care about it a little bit. I was like hashtag free Palestine and all that shit, but I don't care, man. I just don't care. Um, Basically, there are people like to have control of things, power and shit, blah blah blah. And if you're religious, you think that you deserve power because of some type of authoritarian dictate from your god, and they happen to believe that their god is like somewhere located in that area, so they're like, oh, well, like the prophets were somewhere located in that area, so they're just kind of arbitrarily like, lol, your temples are ours, haha. So and the Jews are just kind of like, lol, these are our temples, man, so like get the fuck out or we'll bomb you. And that's understandable. So when it comes down to it, it's just two religious people arbitrarily declaiming land because of religion. Some were the Jews were technically there longer, in my opinion, if I remember right. It's both according to how long the religions existed, and according to what I know in terms of historical documents. So it seems to me that the Palestinians are kind of more or less being the religious imperials, but when it comes down to it, they do have far less power. So now that like there's been some level of negotiation in the past, which has been really not like fully like abided by both sides, but the Palestinians have kind of definitely been like, lol, who gives a shit about the Jews? We want to wipe them all out, lol. So when it comes down to it, they keep attacking y'all, and therefore you guys attack back, and then when you attack back, you guys have way more arms, so it's like pew 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 pew, like the Death Star versus like some rebel or some shit. So when it comes down to it, my view of the conflict is I hate all religions. I'm a misotheist, so honestly, hope you guys bomb each other to hell. And as a pro-mortalist, I'm sorry that I'm wishing you get bombed to hell, but at the same time, I hope your death is swift. Sorry, it's just how it be. Love you. Hope you have a swift death and not a painful one. But when it comes down to it, yeah, I don't fancy either side. I feel like Israel is more in the right in terms of the land ownership, but in terms of the bombing and shit of the civilians, both sides are kind of fucked up. Especially because Israel has a lot of firepower, so they could probably neutralize a lot of shit and do it in like a better way. But they kind of are like, who gives a damn? We're God chosen people, lol. So when it comes down to it, both sides kind of fucking suck ass, in my opinion. So understandable. If you want to give me views, I appreciate it. I don't know if you'd scare people. I literally talk openly about my homicidal ideation and shit. So I have like I do probably scare some people. When it comes down to it, I only have like 115 subscribers or less or some shit. So who knows? But you see, religion's a brain rot, my friend. When you believe that throwing yourself into death gives you a bunch of fucking virgins and eternal bliss, and you just get to fuck babes forever or whatever, and that you have a right to the land, and cowering away is basically defying God's will, because gods do deserve that land, and basically through God's will, you're gonna eventually get that by cowering, you're defying God's like divine will of you owning the land or whatever. So when it comes down to both sides, basically agree to think that exact thing, that they divinely own the land. So when it comes down to it, they're both basically willing to lay down their lives for an arbitrary piece of land because it's what their god wants, because they have fucking brain rot, dude. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a religious kook, can't really relate, but I used to be somewhat, so I kind of understand. I mean, not really, was never really like theologically racist or anything where I was just like, I'm superior to other people. I was more just like, lol, you guys are kind of going to hell, and I kind of am problematic with that, and so want to save your souls. But I was very adamant about saving people's souls. These people are just kind of adamant that, like, who gives a fuck, lol, we're chosen people and, like, I'll die or whatever, because that's kind of what Old Testament was, and I was more of a New Testament homie. So when it comes down to it, those Old Testament fuckers, they be extra crazy. Anybody that believes in any religion, crazy. But when it comes down to it, the Old Testament fuckers, yeesh, they be fucking wacky, man. So, yeah, I'm just saying, when it comes down to it, like, the Quran's basically just like, just building a fucking new religion. The Old Testament, some barbaric ass shit. And then Judaism's just like, let's just take the Old Testament and just go with that. And then Christianity's just like, let's do that, plus this New Testament shit. And then some people are complete bonkers and just like go with both of them and it's bipolar as shit. They're just like, let's kill everybody and love on them at the same time. And I'm like, what the fuck? So when it comes down to a religion, it's just fucking bad shit, bro. So yeah, as I said, brain rot. You know, you don't even have to try to understand it. You just need to understand that they're literally insane and that like they're pretty much, as Primordialism says, better off dead. Like this, you know, like yeesh. Some people are just not. They don't deserve to be here. They're literally just blights. They don't think logically, and they don't want to think logically because thinking logically hurts. And a lot of them just want to be in eternal bliss, hence heaven, and they'll damn everybody else to hell in their mind for that price. Because as I said, they're insane fucking psychopaths. Oh yeah, there's nothing to pontificate, my dude. I basically believe when it comes down to it, I'm just gonna make sure my mic's working. Yeah, basically this point's just the whole purpose of activism. That's why I say you should probably make a channel or just dedicate your time to street activism during the daytime, with so long as weather permits it. You basically just work and sleep and do activism of some sort, whether it's online or in person. 'Cause you already know the answer is prevent suffering. You can keep pontificating if you really want, but there's really not much to pontificate. Direct experience testifies that suffering is basically all that exists in terms of what we truly know. Pleasure, if it exists, is basically an illusion, but it's still better than being in pain. We know all this stuff, so basically it comes down to just convincing people it's not worth perpetuating this shithole. And how I do that is basically just kind of like do basic premises of like, as you can see my activism videos, like I used to say, what do you value? Do you value consent? Do you think it's wrong to cause unnecessary suffering? Fun fact, by having a biological child, you violate someone's consent. None of us asked to be here. I sure didn't. And guess what? No one needs to have a biological child. You just don't. And if you really want one, though, you can adopt. There are 500,000 children in the United States foster care system alone. So please, do not cause unnecessary suffering. Do not violate someone's consent. And that was like what I used to say in the past, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm just like, fuck you all. You all, life is suffering. 1 in 5 you are gonna die of cancer. 1 in 6 you are gonna get splattered on the fucking highway in a motor vehicle accident. Some of you are getting other diseases that are incurable and shit. Some of you are right away from Alzheimer's. And just screaming this shit through a megaphone, just reminding everybody that their life is suffering and that they're going nowhere. Like, what are y'all doing? Huh? You going to work? How many of you are going to work? Just going through the rat race, a pointless job for a pointless reason, just to get some arbitrary money for some overpriced bullshit. And all you get in the end as a reward, death. And what do you? I mean, oh, maybe you have a family though. You can enjoy your family. And what do they get? It's for the enjoyment of their death too. And I'll just yell all that shit through a fucking megaphone, like ruin people's day. Because I used to just have like actual premises, and I realize some people get it, some people get it. Like I get thumbs up and stuff, and be like, yeah, I love you. But you know what? Fuck it. People get it, but I feel like people get the raw horror of existence more. So, but if you don't want to if you don't, I just understandable. But I'm literally like a psychopath, bro. I like want to hack people's heads off and shit, and like throat fuck them, like I literally just want to like chop someone's head off, and like as their arteries gush blood, just like shove my cock down their esophagus, yeah, grab their titties. Just want to, you know what I mean? I'm a fucking psychopath, bro. I'm literally insane. So when it comes down to it, if I can be a good person and do activism, I believe in you. You can do it too. Surely you're more functional than me, maybe. I don't fucking know. Maybe not. Maybe you are like mentally disabled or something. I don't fucking know. Like I'm not in your head, so I don't know. But I mean, maybe you're like riddled with anxiety at the point where you're like getting public, I'm just like, okay, like you just can't function in public. And if that's the case, really sorry for you. I mean, then I guess I am more functional in like a different way. So that would be unfortunate. Do they instantly get it? Really? Some people get it. Some people give me thumbs up. Some people say "fuck you." It's hard not to get it when you say it that clearly. But like people get it, but they just don't care. I think most people don't care, which is why I stopped saying the premises. And now I'm just reminding people that they're all fucking dying and that they're basically just perpetually spreading death like a bunch of sadists. Which also gets a lot of fuck yous, but it also still gets some thumbs up every once in a while. So when it comes down to it, I think people get it, they just don't care. So I've basically transitioned from a message of peace, which they can either say fuck you to me, which they still would do in the past, or they could just not care, to a message of pure rage and anger, just reminding everybody that they're fucking dying and they're spreading death like a bunch of maniacs. So when it comes down to that message is a little harder to ignore. So, people try, but when someone literally is counting your car and the cars around you and screaming, "Oh, 1 in 5 people die of cancer," and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and point at you, and it's just kind of like, that dude literally just reminded me that I have a 1 in 5 chance of spontaneously having my cells reproduce out of control till I'm on a deathbed. So yeah, it's basically just like, a wake up call. I'm truly just being the bearer of bad news, the angel of death, existential dread in the corner as people just go to work. I love it. It really does like motivate me. Honestly, I was suicidal as shit a couple weeks ago, and then since I started screaming at people, still suicidal as shit, but like at least I kind of actually am looking forward to like when the weather's not raining, so I can go out there and yell at people for like an hour or two each day. Just tell them they're all gonna fucking die and that they're horrible fucking pieces of shit that don't even deserve to breathe air. Love it. Oh, believe me, if you spend any time around people with the awareness of their nature, you'll become homicidal like me. Ha ha ha. If you truly understand the nature of humanity and how evil we are down to the fucking core, and how we shame others just to feel some sense of relief for ourselves, oh, you'll hate us all. Down to the very core. I'm salivating right now of how much hatred I have, how delicious our fucking human, how it's our human nature is so fucking succulent. It's so fucking horrifying. It makes me just, I love it. I hate it so much. So when it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, I encourage people to do activism because it's what we need to do. It's what we ought to do. But believe me, you will hate yourself more and more by the day. It's driving me insane. Like, the more I try, the more I hate humanity because the more fruitless it seems. So I'm being upfront with you that if you truly are like a consequentialist, you're not like some deontologist who's like everything's happy-go-lucky and ha ha ha, I just do rules and la 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 la. If you're like me, like you understand consequentialism, you understand this shit's like pointless. The only thing that matters is pain and suffering, and people are generally just fucking robots that don't give a damn. Yeah, it's like extraordinarily fucking mind wrenching and makes me more homicidal by like the day. But when it comes down to it, doesn't change the fact that we have a duty, because if you can change one person's mind, a single person in your entire life, you can change their mind. That means you've prevented more suffering than if you would have ended your own life, you know, or just sat there in a room, like, you know, or become a Jane or something, trying to, like, you know, make sure you don't, like, step on a single bug your whole life, you know. If you can prevent a single person coming into existence or convert a single person to veganism through activism, you can basically, like, you know, convert a massive amount of shift in suffering. Because, like, each person, if a person eats dairy and meat, they on average eat about 200 animals each year, individually speaking. I mean, 200 animals get brought into existence each year of a person's life since adulthood till their death, basically. So for about like 40 years, 200, so that's about like 8,000 animals or some shit like that. So, like, you know, I mean, 8,000 beings suffering for like 6 months to like 2 years or some shit like that. So when it comes down to it, if you can convince like a single person to like change their lifestyle, it's like worth it in terms of activism. Like, but yeah, I didn't mean to put those numbers into your mind because it's actually really distressing just to think about. I'm a psychopath, so for me, it's just kind of like a numb fact that I know that I hate to know, but I know. But for you, it's probably kind of distressing understanding that literally every single person around you, if you don't convince them, is literally causing the death of 8,000 beings. And not only that, but the suffering of their entire life being exploited on a farm for about, you know, 6 months to 2 years every single day until they're just ground up and shoved down your throat for about 10 minutes and they're gone. Yeah, it's a horrifying thing. Yes, I hate humanity to the very core. But when it comes down to it, we're the only hope we have on this bloody planet. Yay. The only hope to cleanse suffering permanently from this bloody rock is the thing that just grinds things up and creates billions upon billions of things each year for individuals' sensual pleasure. Truly, it's like the most bloody twisted thing ever. The only hope is the most evil thing on the earth. The only thing that's aware and causes the most visceral amount of harm imaginable also is the only thing of hope. Truly disgusting curse. When it comes down to it, yeah, it's blindingly disgusting. But when it comes down to it, yes, the only way we can stop it is by people like becoming more like me and people like, you know, like people stop having kids.org and people like Amanda and Gary, like commend them and stuff. Like, we need people to actually get out there and get angry and yell at people, you know, like, knowledge sure helps. So it's like, you know, not doing stuff helps to a degree, but you need to also kind of infect the majority, which is in the opposite position. You know what I mean? So, because we're not reproducing, so our ideas kind of in a way die with us if we don't spread them in our lifetime. So, like Benatar's wrote a book and shit. Like, he spread his ideas and kind of immortalized them, but when it comes down to it, like, these ideas have existed for a long time, like primordialism, Nifurcurianism, and like the idea that birth is a bad thing. It's existed for about like 3,000 to 4,000 years or so. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, knowledge of life is suffering, not worth perpetuating, has been around for a long time. It's just kind of people need to start yelling that shit at the top of their lungs. When it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, it's a bit depressing if even you convince someone with the idea that is kind of off themselves. Yeah, it's a little discouraging, but I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. I mean, otherwise they would have just contributed to the system of suffering to some extent or other by buying technology, which means people being born to lithium slavery, like slaves for lithium mines, and dying of like cancer and shit. And if they're not vegan, even like, you know, if they're not vegan, the 8,000 animals for their life and blah blah. So it's just kind of like, I mean, if you convince someone to take their life, I mean, that's not really cool because I'd rather them be like, converted than actually be like me or like me and try to like, do activism and do change or like, do some minor activism online or like occasionally comment sections and try to convince somebody or whatever. Anything rather than just blast brains out or down some pills. But, when it comes down to it, I mean, if it's that or just continue how they were because it's too depressing to change, I mean, hey, I can't say that it's the wrong thing to do is promortalism. So. No, I mean, when it comes down to it, if he took his life from intellectual purpose, I mean, just recognizing promortalism and the futility of existence, I can't really blame him or you or, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, there's a really good video I can share with you called Promortalism by Cosmic Ethelist, I'm pretty sure his name is, but when it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, we're all better off dead. There's almost life is suffering, as the Buddha said. I mean, all things we consider pleasure are basically just born into a need and just climbing out of that need towards a neutral. There's no positive sensations, no sensations that aren't costly to ourselves or to some other organism of equal value to our own. So when it comes down to it, I mean, if he didn't want to put in the effort of preventing suffering for other beings, I can't blame him. So you shouldn't feel bad that he's lacking experiences because all those experiences are either negative or an illusory sense of a positive that doesn't really exist, and it's just kind of climbing closer to a neutral sense, a sense of ego death or lack of sensation, lack of negative sensation. So. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter why he took his life, but I mean, from a consequentialist perspective, it doesn't matter why he took his life. It just matters that he's done suffering. But from like an emotional perspective, I mean, if he took his life like my friend did out of like pure suffering, where like my best friend took their life because they didn't understand. They understood promortalism but rejected it because they thought it was like too depressing to accept, and they end up taking their own life because, well, they were sexually assaulted and betrayed by their boyfriend and basically like forced into a position where nothing really mattered anymore. And they kind of were just depressed every day and spent hours dissociating and shit. So they basically put into a position where life was just so miserable that they kind of were forced to take their own life. So when it comes down to it, I mean, taking your own life because of an intellectual reason versus just like pure suffering, I mean, they both suck, obviously. I mean, it sucks that you're kind of like aware of the fact that life is miserable from either way. If it's like a logical or a direct experience. But when it comes down to it, I mean, I'd rather someone just take their life because of logical reasoning than being like literally so emotionally tormented that like they want to live, but they literally cannot feel the value anymore. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between feeling the value of life and like your friend did, but like understanding that it's completely pointless and taking your life. and just like being so full of suffering because of like PTSD that like you cannot really have a glimmer of hope anymore, and it's just like the only thing that gives you any glimmer of hope is non-existence. I don't know. There's like levels of like, for me, I mean, consequentially speaking, it doesn't matter, as like, but like, you know, I at least like see a sense of like dignity and dying from logic, while like dying from misery is just kind of like depressing and sad to witness. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean, but like dying because of like an intellectual reason just seems like I could like not that be like I fucking understand, brother. I understand. Like with like Ethel Blaze and shit like that, and this person that you're talking about. Like I was just like, yeah, man, like you did what you had to do, I guess. But like when someone like my friend, it's just like I don't know. It's just like you can imagine a world where like they could be themselves, but just like didn't get raped or something, and would be a happy person and could still spread the joy of and love that like they could have provided as like a person, but like they could have actually enjoyed life, like regardless of the knowledge of poor mortalism, because you know, but when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter. They had so much suffering and shit that just kind of overwhelmed any sense of whatever. No, I don't. It's just it was a young person. Yeah, we all want to live because we fear death, and we have addictions, just like a heroin addict wants heroin, and an abuse victim wants to be with their boyfriend or whatever, or a girlfriend, despite the fact they're an abuser. And it's hard to recognize that as an abuser, and even if you do recognize them as an abuser, it doesn't change the fact that you still love them or whatever, and want to be with them. And it's kind of the nature of life. We like life, we fear death. It's been programmed into us by over 4 billion years of evolution. But, yeah. But when it comes down to it, as you said, there's no moments of peace. So, I mean, that's where you kind of got like your blips of recognition where you're like, oh, I even know I want this. There is no peace. When it comes down to it, eventually, I think if you unfortunately do what I do, which is constantly absorb yourself with knowledge of the world by watching the news and different philosophical points of view and being really critical of things, yeah, eventually you just kind of flood yourself with like extreme knowledge of the fact that like, yeah, this whole life thing is fucking complete shit. Like down to the very fiber of everything. Like there's nothing redeemable about this in any sense of the way. Like nothing. Like nothing. Like everything you care about basically is just illusory and bullshit, and the only value is to recognize that the suffering is visceral and fucking sucky as shit. Yeah, man, it's depressing as shit, man. Everything's depressing as shit, man. Don't get me wrong, if I were you, I'd want proof that makes them think, you know, well, I think life is proof, and if these people really don't think suffering's bad, I kind of dare them to like just shove a knife into like their leg, or like quit their job or whatever, or just, you know, do something just that would completely upthrow their entire life. Like, you know, like whoever they love the most in life, just blow their brains out, completely uphold their life and throw it into chaos, you know, just they won't do it because they value their mental state being a state of control, the value not being in a state of suffering, the value being a state of closer to neutrality, you know. So when it comes down to it, even if they won't fucking physically, like verbally admit it, they all physically feel it. So, I mean, the proof is in experience. I mean, whether they have had the experience to, like, actually experience the proof itself, like, you know, not everybody has that right away. They have gradients of it through, like, minor amounts of pain. Everybody feels pain to some extent or another, you know, and it's significant because, as Benatar says, even pinprick's not worth it. But when it comes down to it, like, extreme suffering is, like, visceral and, like, undeniable. Not everybody's experienced visceral amounts of suffering, or at least not, like, in a way that, like, has been contrasted. Like, you know, I guess like, the way, like, to be, like, see the gradients of experience and understand that it's, like, unfair and unjust, and that there's something viscerally fucked up of existence in the nature of exchange going on. And not all people see that, or they just don't get to see the sucky end of it, so to speak, so they don't have the empathy or reason to empathize. So, I don't exactly know what you mean, but I like the spirit. Comes down to it, it's easier to voice chat people. Oh, hello. man, just do things based off of statistics, bro. When it comes down to, we can't know the results, but we can know statistical odds slash just physical odds of like how things work. Statistically speaking, no one suffers if they're not born. When it comes down to if nothing's on Earth, nothing suffers. That's all you kind of need to know in terms of statistics. I mean, you can know the statistic that one, two, or whatever, it's like 50%, 70% of people don't have internal monologues, so 50% of people are basically hopeless as shit. But that's basically all the facts you need to know, man, about life. It's kind of almost hopeless, but when it comes down to it, big fact, life sucks, and we're all gonna die, and, yep. Can't guarantee that me doing anything will guarantee helping someone, but when it comes down to you can guarantee not bring something to existence, or not cause suffering to that non-existent being. Yeah. I mean, people I think are understanding the premises rather easily. But when it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, some people don't even look at the sign or listen, I'm sure, so they probably don't get it. And some people who are low IQ probably don't get it, but anybody who has any reasonable sense of function and or inner monologue, so imagine like 15-20% of the population, they probably get it instantly. The other 80 to 75%, you know, they don't get it at all, and they're just a bunch of idiots and better off being shot in the head. But when it comes down to it, that's illegal, so hence why we don't do that. Fun fact, probably not a whole lot. Just like images and a couple of them, probably fucking nothing. So really nothing of importance in terms of intellect. It's just kind of like, ooh, fucking trombone. They don't have words going on, so I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's not exactly intellectual. Take care, my dude.